Lesson 6-4, adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. And in this lesson, you learn to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. When are you ever going to use this to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators when you are analyzing graphs? Okay, so when you're analyzing graphs, you'll be using this skill. So what would you do if you had won $100,000? Graph shows that adults ages 35 to 50 said they would spend uh, $100,000 prize. What fraction of the money did the people surveyed say they would spend a new car and a new home? We will solve this in example 1. So this is the graph. This is actually a real survey, Market Research Institute survey. Take a dream vacation, 1 out of 25. Towards a new car, 1 out of 25. Towards a new home, 3 out of 50. Take care of parents, 1 out of 4. Retirement, 13 out of 50. And college for children, 9 out of 25. Okay, so to find the sum, you need a common unit name. In lesson, well, we did not do this. You came up with common units for names for a group of different objects. When you work with fractions with different or unlike denominators, you need to do the same thing. So remember what we did in 6-3. To be able for us to add fractions, we need to have the same denominator, so we can only add the numerators. Okay, so in this case, we need to do the same thing. We need to have the same denominator for us to be able to add the two fractions. Okay, so to find the sum and difference of two fractions with like denominators, with unlike, sorry, let me pause this for now and then let me make an adjustment. So to find the sum or difference of two fractions with unlike denominators, okay, rename the fractions using the least common denominator, then add or subtract, and then simplify. Okay, 5-8 deals with the LCDs. Okay, so review that one if you don't remember. Okay, so in example number 1, refer to the beginning of the lesson. Okay, what part of the $100,000 prize would you say they would spend on a new home or a new car? So obviously the operation we'll be using is addition. So we add 3/5 plus 1 over 25. The LCD of 3 over 50 and 1 over 25 is 50. And if you recall, let's review how to find LCDs. LCDs is just finding the LCM of 25 and 50. Okay, 25 and 50. Okay, and the prime factors of 250 are 2 times 5 times 5. And the prime factors of 25 are 5 times 5. And remember this, you circle the common factors once you bring it down. Okay, circle the common factors when you bring it down. And the prime numbers that don't have common factors, you also bring it down to be able to find your LCM of 25 and 50. So the LCD of 25 and 3 over 50 and 1 over 25 is actually 50. Okay, so we know this. We just reviewed that. Let's move on. So if the LCD is 25 and 50, we also know, let me take this out, delete this one, and we can see that. So 3 over 50 plus 2 over 50, because if you rename 1 over 25 with the denominator 50, it'll be 2 over 50. Now that the denominators are the same, you can simply add the numerators. 3 plus 2 over 50, that'll give you 5 over 50, or simplest form is 1 over 10. So the people survey said they would spend 1/10 of the price on a new home and a new car. Okay, let's take a look at this problem. 2/3 minus 1/2. If we look at our denominators, they are not the same, so we need to find the LCD of 3 and 2. Okay, and the LCD of 3 and 2 would be 6. Okay, so remember, if the greatest common factor of your two numbers is 1, the LCD is the product, or the LCM is the product of those two numbers. Since the LCD is the same as the LCM, the LCD of 3 and 2 would be 6 because the GCF of 3 and 2 is 1. So you simply multiply 3 times 2. Okay? So we rename 2/3, okay, with the denominator of 6 to become 4/6. And we rename 1/2 with the denominator of 6 to become 3/6. Okay, so we have the same denominators. We simply subtract the numerators 4 minus 3, and that will give us 1/6. Okay, so the difference of 2/3 and 1/2 is 1/6. Okay, last example, example number 3. Chapter 1 evaluated expressions when the variables were whole numbers. Now you can also evaluate expressions, okay, when the variables are fractions. So we want to evaluate p minus q if p equals 5/6 and q equals 3/4. Okay, so when you say evaluate, again, evaluate means find the value of, and 2 steps to evaluate, substitute, and then to simplify. Okay, so to substitute and then to simplify. Okay, but before we go to example number 3, secret word of the day is Aaron Rodgers, or secret name. Okay, so evaluate p minus q if p equals 5/6 and q equals 3/4. So p minus q, okay, substitute the value for p, which is 5/6 minus 3/4. The denominators are not the same, so we find the LCD. Again, you cannot simply multiply that to find the LCD because the GCF of 6 and 4 is not 1. Okay, so if you want to find the LCM of 6 and 4, then you need to do it the old-fashioned way. 6 and 4, find the prime factors. This is 2 times 3. This is 2 times 2. Okay, circle that. That goes down once. Okay, that goes down once. And this goes down once. Okay, so if you multiply all of them, the LCD would be 12. Okay, so LCD of 5/6 and 3/4 would be 12. And we rename 5/6 using the denominator of 12 to be 10. Okay, and we rename 3/4 with the denominator of 12 to be 9/12. And then now we have like fractions. We simply subtract our numerators to end up with 1/12. Okay, and that is the end of our lesson, boys and girls. Okay, thank you for watching.